Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we're just going to do a quick summary of what we've covered so far. So we had a look at pseudocode, which we just mentioned in brief detail. We didn't talk about anything to do with it. Basically, it's an informal language that you think out your program before you do it. It makes it a lot easier to actually program after that. So then you convert it into the Java program without the strict limitations of having to write the code from the very beginning. There's also control statements. You can also call them control structures, but the correct way in Java is control statements. We didn't cover anything to do with the unified modeling language, which is how you write out the sequence structure built in Java. So you'd write it out in different blocks, but for the moment we don't need to worry about that. We did talk a little bit about if statements. So there's 3 different selection statements. So there's if statements, if else statements, and there's also a multiple selection statement called a switch statement, which we'll cover in the next set of control statements. So we have also iteration statements. So there's while loops and for loops, and there's keywords that are in Java that you can't use as identifiers, so such as variable names. So you can't use the new keyword, so that's for creating a new object. You can't use the if, else, switch, while, do, and for. They're all Java keywords. We had a little talk about the if-else double statements, and then nested if-else statements, and then there's the else dangling problem, which is where the else is with the immediately preceding if. Otherwise it will just it won't calculate it correctly because it's going to use the wrong if statements. So with everything, it's like a building block. So they're actually called a block of statements. So it's a block of code. There's also the conditional operator, which was the question mark and the 2 dots, or the ternary operator, it's called as well. There's the while iteration statement, which we had a look at, and then there's the counter controlled iterations, which is where we had the student counter going through the loop. And that's it for the moment. So it's really important to kind of have more practical experience with this. Look at the incrementation and decrementation of what we covered in the previous video. Play around with what you can do with this as well. There's also different operators, such as multiplication and division, and also with the division it's slightly different in Java, so it's really important to take a look at that as well, because you have modulus as well, which is going to impact how you write it. And there's also the integer division problem that we spoke about. So the integer division, and if it truncates, that's the arithmetic overflow, which is really important as well. So all of these come into play with larger programs. Usually with more simpler programs, like using just plain integers with 1 digit, it's okay. With larger ones, obviously you have to think about these things, so you have to keep them in mind all the time. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give feedback at learncomputers@gmail.com, and I'll put up another video soon. Okay, thank you.